Welcome everyone to the SEC on ESPN. We are inside Reed Arena here in College Station, Texas, in a game that's been anticipated and debated since the first time these two teams clashed about 3 weeks ago. It's the first time that the Aggies have hosted the defending national champs. As we take a look at the standings, taking a little bit of inventory in the SEC. Kentucky at 5-2, Texas A&M at 3-4. There's a big log jam right in the middle of the conference. Florida and Ole Miss tipping it off in about an hour from now. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, courtside, along with Jimmy Dykes. Thanks for coming aboard. Jimmy, the first time these two teams met, Elston Turner, the Aggies, did what few have done in Rupp Arena. He lit them up for 40 points in that Texas A&M victory. To a man, Kentucky's been talking about payback since.
Yeah, they better be all over him today. But first of all, it's National Groundhog Day. What did the groundhog see when he came out of the hole today?
Punxsutawney Phil?
No, he saw Noel blocking shots for 6 more weeks. That's exactly what he saw. That could happen today. This kid is absolutely on fire defensively. Texas A&M can really defend. Only giving up about 58 points a game. Can they score enough to stay in this ball game?
Well, one of the questions that begs too is how does Kentucky handle the success as we take a look at our one-on-one for today?
Yeah, you're right. Kentucky coming off of a terrific win at Ole Miss, but they better get on Elston Turner early. They did not at Rupp Arena, and he got hot and the basket got big. He ends up with 40 points. I think Goodwin will get a whole lot of dose of covering Mr. Turner today. If that's not working, Kentucky will have to switch out on him. And on the other end of the floor, Noel continues to be the most dominant shot blocker in all of college basketball. He had an unbelievable January, an unbelievable Tuesday night. I've never seen a more dominant performance from someone in a ball game that only scored 2 points.
All right, now let's take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Michelin. For the Kentucky Wildcats, Goodwin, Harrow, Julius Mays, Noel, and Alex Poythress, the team's second leading scorer. For the Aggies, J. Michael Reese, Fabian Harris, former junior college All-American, Elston Turner, the team's leading scorer. Roberson and Turner, one of the key variables for Texas A&M. They have to get him going today. An expected sellout crowd on hand as the Big Blue Nation, the guys in blue, control the opening tip. Here's Harrow. Inside to Noel. Still plenty of time left on the shot clock. Goodwin, the team's leading scorer. 6 on the shot clock. He can make his own, and he gets blocked inside by Turner. Reese on the move. Couldn't get his own tip to go. But A&M got up and down the court quickly on that opening possession.
Texas A&M very gap sound to start this game defensively.
Noel with the game's first field goal emphatically.
Except the gap was not sound in transition. The get-back defense has to run with passion against Kentucky. Noel can run the floor as well as any big guy in college ball.
Kentucky coming off a win, very impressive one on the road at Ole Miss a few nights ago. Their first win this season over a ranked opponent.
More immediately you see the hard hedge and the hard help of Noel on Elston Turner anytime he breaks off of a screen action.
Wheeling down low, and there's his first block shot of the game. You would think more going to come, and that makes his head coach John Calipari exceptionally happy. Noel with his 50th block in SEC play so far this year. And he's already ahead of the pace that Anthony Davis set just a year ago. Inside attempt no good by Roberson. And Harris corrals the loose ball. Here come the Wildcats. Harrow on the drive. Tough shot. An up and down pace so far.
Boy, Kentucky with nobody on the offensive glass off the drive of Harrow. Just stood and watched.
Here's Turner's first jack. Rebounded by Noel. Poythress with the pull-up. Up and down they go. If it continues at this high possession pace, who does it favor?
I think it favors Kentucky. I mean, Texas A&M just struggles to score 58 points a ball game right now in SEC play. I don't think they have the horses to let Kentucky continue to get out and run in this building.
Here's Turner. And swinging around weak side. Harris looking inside to Roberson. Roberson calling for the ball, demanding it. 3 on the shot clock. Turner's going to have to jack up last second 9-1-1. And a good defensive sequence.
A good recovery by Archie Goodwin into the shot of Elston Turner. Stayed on balance, bothered the shot.
Mays couldn't find the handle. Out of bounds, and it'll come back the other way to Texas A&M. Coach Kennedy's team having a tough time scoring buckets. You talked about it, Jimmy, just a second ago. In the last 5 games, they have been unable to surpass 55 points.
Yeah, can they get to 60 today? I think that's what they would love to be able to do. And then grind this thing out. Can they set the rules early? Be physical with Kentucky. I've already seen that. Gap sound in their half court. So far, so good. And when Kyle Wiltjer comes in, will they tag him all over the floor? Those are the rules they want to play by in this game.
A&M coming off an impressive win against Mississippi State on the road in overtime. And another turnover. They have gone 0 for 6 from the field to open this game.
I mentioned Kyle Wiltjer. And he's at the 4. He's at the 4 spot. And he is such a lethal screener because of his size and his ability to shoot that ball.
Jimmy, he's made some definitive improvements since the time even we saw him last.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goodwin on the drive and kick. There he is. Wiltjer knocks down his first 3 ball. He had a career high 26 in that win at Ole Miss.
Well, you got to tag Wiltjer at all times. You do not help off of Kyle Wiltjer. Archie Goodwin was not making a drive that was threatening the rim, and there's no reason to help off of Wiltjer.
Kentucky out to a 5-0 lead. Here's Turner. Inside to Ray Turner. Didn't get the foul call, out of bounds. Five 5-0 just underway. Let's go to the studio and Chris.
Jimmy, Kentucky and Texas A&M.
Welcome everyone to College Station. Texas A&M out to a slow start here against the defending national champs from Kentucky. Kentucky leading 9-1. The Aggies just now from the free throw line scoring their first point of the ball game after an 0 for 10 beginning. Nerlens Noel taking a seat on the bench for head coach John Calipari. Noel with 6 points in the ball game so far and a block shot. Willie Macaulay-Stein coming into the ball game now.
A couple of pretty good teams losing on their home floor today to start the month of February, huh? Kansas goes down to Oak State. Tell you what, that Miami team is really good. That is not a shock to me that they handled NC State in their building.
Miami under Coach Larinaga continuing to climb. That big win at home over Duke seems to really got their confidence burgeoning.
And you and I did the game, right? Michigan State at Miami, and we saw it that night. Just the size and the older guys that Larinaga puts on the floor. Larkin terrific at that point guard spot, and they are not going away in that ACC race.
Yeah, Kenny Kaji has really started to play well for them too. Back here 9-2. Elston Turner, folks, who lit up the Wildcats on their own floor for 40 points in the first meeting, has yet to score. He's 0 for 4 from the field. And this is an offensively challenged Aggie team. In the last 5 games, they have yet to break 55 points or more. Bolson running the point. Here's Mays. Cauley-Stein's going to be whistled for an offensive foul. Cauley-Stein returning to action after missing some games. Had a procedure done on his knee to clean out a little bit of debris. Jimmy, what does he add to their lineup?
Well, he's a 7-foot, 245-pound guy that can protect the rim when Nerlens Noel goes out. Now, he's not the shot blocker that Noel is, but still you have to deal with his size. And he takes makes. That's what I like about Willie Cauley-Stein. Shoots a high percentage because he only takes makes.
Caruso on the drive, lost the handle.
A&M is getting the ball side to side. They're turning it into a grind-out affair on the offensive end. At some point, you got to make a shot.
Turner does just that. Finally, their first field goal coming with 12:23 to go.
Turner has to play good. He has not had a double-figure game so far in SEC play.
Turner on the drive and kick. Again, Harris couldn't find it.
I don't know if there's a stranger shot in all of college basketball than what Fabian Harris has from Texas A&M. But the guy knows how to ball. He makes shots. You don't teach someone to shoot like he does, but the results are normally pretty good. He's a tough, tough little guy.
The defending champs off to a good start, especially Noel, who only took one field goal shot in the previous game.
Yep.
He's a little more active tonight.
And still dominated that game. Well, first of all, he's quick off of his first jump and just as quick off of his second jump. And now he's starting to get some rim runs in this ball game. Remember, it was about a year ago this time that Anthony Davis really started growing and flourishing on the offensive end as well. And I don't think he's going to grow into an Anthony Davis offensively, but he is getting better around the rim. And I thought Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News did a great job of comparing him earlier this week to Bill Russell in terms of how quick and long and dynamic he is as a shot blocker. A terrific January, led the nation in block shots. And how about this? 3 times as many block shots as he had missed shots.
Wow.
And his ability with his long arms, that long wingspan to keep his body off of people, blocking shots about a 3 or 4 ratio to every 1 foul, which is unbelievable number.
You know, Jimmy, they talk about metrics and analytics and all those things. That's where they, in a sense, fall short a little bit because it does not totally account for the presence of a guy that changes so many shots and impacts the game so profoundly at the defensive end. We have a jump ball situation, possession arrow in favor of Texas A&M. Actually, Murphy Holloway, as we look at Noel of Ole Miss, said he thought that Noel was actually a better shot blocker after that game than Anthony Davis was.
Well, after that game, you would probably come away with that impression if you're Ole Miss. It was the most dominating performance I've ever seen out of a kid with 4 personal fouls to close out a game. He's averaging 10 points a game, but he's erasing 12 or 14 points a game. So he's worth 24 points to John Calipari right now.
There's a look at the comparison between last year's National Player of the Year, Anthony Davis, and Nerlens Noel, the freshman. He's on pace to break that block shot record.
You know, both Anthony Davis and Noel, they saw the play develop before it took place. And you have to have that instinct about you to be a great shot blocker.
Here's Harrow. Ollie Stein. Poythress on the drive. They may get an easy one here. Harris on the break and one. Fabian Harris, the 5'11" JUCO transfer, will have a chance for a 3-point play.
Jonesy, Texas A&M is sitting in the gaps. They're sitting in the gaps against Kentucky, and Poythress took it right into a gap that was already clogged up. And as a result, Texas A&M gets an easy run out.
Harris at the foul line, an 83% free throw shooter, former JUCO All-American at the College of Southern Idaho. There's a great program there, and that is a really unorthodox looking shot, as you said, Jimmy.
Absolutely.
Brings it from the other side of his face. Huh?
Yeah, he does.
And that's a no-no on the. If you want to get on that Jimmy Dykes airplane, I'm not sure you get on with that kind of shot.
No, not if it was shooters only. You wouldn't get a seat.
How is the plane anyway? Still in the shop?
We just backed it out last week. We'll start putting people on this one.
Okay. A little mechanical issue?
Yeah, we had to change
dusting
the
it up a
carpet.
little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Change the carpet. Texas A&M in zone now, and Kentucky will always throw that on you.
Pauly Stein fouled as they missed on the lob attempt from Ryan Harrow. Pauly Stein will go to the free throw line.
Kentucky can really stress you when you go to your zone because they have guys like Mays and Wiltjer that can knock down shots, and then they always have the ability to have a 7-footer around the rim to throw that lob play too.
Pauly Stein giving them a little bit more length and depth. Rated the 10th best center in the country by ESPNU last year. ESPN's Journey to the Tourney is a season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament. Tonight, to the Big Ten's finest square-off, Assembly Hall, Trey Burke, Michigan, Cody Zeller, Hoosiers, number 1, number 3. Amen. That's all that needs to be said. 9 o'clock on ESPN and also on WatchESPN.com and the app as well.
I told you what I'm doing. I'm going straight back to the room and watching that game. 3 guys that are in the running for that Wooden Award. Zeller, Oladipo, and Burke.
Nice feed inside to Johns. Eric Johns, a little under 2 points per game on the season already. Past that average. Aggies responding with a 9-0 run. Here's Mays. Jump ball as Noel goes to the court. Possession, Kentucky.
Now, Texas A&M is running a ton of dribble handoff action at Kentucky to start this ball game. And that time they drove the ball right across the nail. And that's what Texas A&M was emphasizing at noon today. We want drives across the nail and make Kentucky attract to that basketball.
Jimmy, this Kentucky team, very young, very inexperienced. Head coach John Calipari as Noel gets fouled going to the bucket by Alex Caruso. Facing a little bit of an early test, but it's interesting. Calipari, as we take a look at the replay, said in that Ole Miss game, when Mississippi responded with that 16-0 run, we started settling for jumpers a little bit.
Yeah.
What would he rather see his team do?
That's what Nerlens Noel did. Take the ball at the rack and at least get yourself fouled. Now, the kid has struggled shooting free throws. What I love about Nerlens Noel, for an hour before the ball game today, he went from one end to the other time and time again, working on that free throw shot. And Kentucky, what they do last year when a team would make a run at them, they would go to their smash mouth game around the rim and silence the crowd, and that's what Nerlens Noel just did.
8 points already for the big man in this game. Turner, a nice little hesitation move. Turner missing the tip. No relation, of course. And back come the Wildcats.
Well, the ones that you have to clean up. When Nerlens Noel doesn't get the block, you have to get on that offensive glass against the Cats.
This is not unfamiliar territory for the Aggies. They've had a half where they've scored less than 20 in the first half of the game this year. Off the Wiltjer miss. Texas A&M controls. This is J. Michael Reese. Harrow out top, sticking him. Turner with 10 on the shot clock. Got the switch. Probes that defense. 5 on the shot clock. Back to Turner. Boy, he's really struggling tonight. Missed everything.
And they ran good offense. They got it to the 3rd or 4th side of the floor and just miss a wide open jump shot.
And another Kentucky turnover. He's 0 for 3 on threes. How much of that has to do with the scheme of Kentucky's defense and what they're doing with Elston Turner?
Well, when Turner went for 40 at Rupp Arena, it got the attention of not only opposing coaches but opposing players. And sometimes that's hard to do. But when guys now recognize this cat can go for 40 on us if we don't guard him, then your defense can go to another level. Kentucky switching out on him when they have to. Goodwin and Mays have done a nice job of chasing him all over the floor and making Elston Turner now work for his shots.
Elston Turner, if you don't already know, his dad, former player in the NBA for over a decade. Erstwhile former assistant coach with the Phoenix Suns. Jordan Green has checked into the game for the Aggies.
Kentucky fighting hard, Jones, over the top of that on-ball action of Texas A&M trying to blow it up.
Roberson wheeling inside. Good quick hands by Noel to come up with a steal. Been a quiet day for Goodwin until now. Archie Goodwin shows you why he was a 5-star recruit.
What a terrific step through by Archie Goodwin. And this kid has a burst, but you know what? He kept his burst under control while he was in a crowd. As he brings this ball up the floor, He's kind of just down, checking his gears a little till right there. The step through, very well done by Archie Goodwin.
Defending national champ Wildcats leading by 4, 7:48 to go in the first half as we take a look at our ESPN virtual hot cold zone.
Well, so far, Elson Turner is 0 for 5, and you see where he's taken his shots from. Interesting, when he went for 40 at Rupp, he made a ton of shots in this area of the floor, just outside the box. He made a ton of those shots, and he has not even taken one so far in this game.
Elson Turner, the game-high performance this year in the SEC, that 40-pointer that he had against the Wildcats. And you talk about some of the guys that have been able to do that. It's a very short list. You'd have to go back to a guy by the name of David Robinson, had 45 against Kentucky back in the day. And we have an injured player down on the floor. It looks like it's Noel.
He fell very awkwardly on that left leg.
And he is writhing in pain in the key. That left knee bending back.
It's an awkward fall. He gets bumped right there. Yeah, that left leg was bent back, and then his body came down.
Looks like he fell over Johns right there.
He gets knocked off balance, and that.
It didn't look like there was any kind of malicious intent there. Just
no
natural contact, incidental contact, and well, you never want to see anyone go down like that.
Those are some valuable knees.
I'll tell you what, there's about 15 NBA scouts that'll attest to that. I'm watching this game today. Good to see him walk off under his own power, having a pretty productive day. 8 points.
His
one block shot.
Jonesy, his development under Calipari. I do say he has developed under Cal because Cal has gotten this kid to commit to practice like guys do who become special, and they become different. And that's part of getting players to go to another level, getting through to them, and he's pushed the right button with Nerlens Noel.
Here's Mays. Wiltjer. Another guy who's taken his practice habits and work ethic to another level. Fouled on the drive. Wiltjer coming off that 26-point game in their last run against Ole Miss. That foul against Johns, his first personal. It's going to be side out. Noel back into the ball game. That's a great sign.
Well, that's a great sign for not only Kentucky, but really for all of college basketball, because this kid has a chance to do some special things over the next 6, 7, 8 weeks, however long Kentucky's going to be playing.
Wiltjer. A little dribble handoff action. Now Polson holds up a hand and calls the play. Goodwin from the corner. Had that partially blocked. Been a little bit of a struggle for Archie Goodwin in this game so far, Jimmy.
Well, they're making him now take jump shots. And again, Texas A&M is going to shrink the floor, shrink the gaps, and see if Kentucky can make enough of those 15 to 19 footers to win this ball game.
Yeah, Goodwin just 1 of 5. He's the team's leading scorer coming into this one. Good defense by the Wildcats. 10 on the shot clock. Roberson swings it around to Turner. Turner on the drive, and Noel got a piece of it, blocked it, but a whistle and a foul called on the play. ESPN Sunday afternoon showcase, folks. Highlights action out of the Big East. Russ Smith and the Cardinals host Vanderbilt and the Golden Eagles. Sunday afternoon showcase, Sunday at 2 on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN. Russ Smith averaging a little over 18 a game. Vanderbilt from Marquette close to 15. An intriguing matchup between those two teams as Elston Turner goes to the free throw line.
That last foul was called on Nerlens Noel, but when Kentucky goes back and grades the film, they will say that foul's on Archie Goodwin. because you have got to keep Elson Turner from driving that ball, and he didn't. And then Noel had to come involved in the play. And watch what happened.
They actually just did change it to Goodwin.
Because originally they put a foul on number 3, but still Archie Goodwin has to delete that straight line drive. And he's very fortunate that Nerlens Noel didn't get called with that foul.
Turner at the free throw line for the second of 2. An 80% free throw shooter on the season. And a struggle for him here in the first half, as it was a few nights ago in that game against Mississippi State. He made a big shot in overtime and near the end of regulation to get his team the W. Noel double teamed. Good feed inside, and Polson will go to the line for 2. So Nerlens Noel shows you he can dime people out a little bit.
Well, they're digging down off of the entry pass or the ball side guard. And in this situation, it was Polson. So he makes a hard rim cut. And Nerlens Noel's got some skills now. He can pass that ball right and left-handed. He's got a good feel for the game. And I talked about how he sees the game defensively one play ahead. He has that same instinct on the offensive end as well.
Jimmy saw him play earlier this year in that game against Maryland. Alex Len really outplayed him between the battle of big men. Len with a few more offensive skills, but how much better do you think he is now offensively between them?
I don't know, 25, 30%, you know. Now, Alex
Which is a lot, right?
Alex Len's going to be a pro, so that was a terrific matchup early for Noel to go against. But defensively, Nerlens Noel is 50, 60% better because he's no longer the first guy off the floor.
Oh, great point. 12 on the shot clock for Turner. A little pick and roll. Turner, boy, he continues to struggle. That's the one guy that they need to get going. Mays from the corner. The 3-ball is good. And a 5-point swing off the missed layup at the other end. Approaching 5.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Kentucky leading by 5. Elston Turner with the pull-up. And he knocks that one down.
Another reason to keep him off the free throw stripe. Because sometimes a guy that all he needs to do is just see the ball go through the rim one time, and now the rest of his game gets going.
Poythress. Harrow knocks down the 3, the second consecutive long ball, and his first field goal makes it a 6-point game. A whistle and a foul. That's going to go against. Looks like they're going to call that against Mays. That's the 15th foul. Fabian Harris comes back into the ball game. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Michael Reese will inbound for the Aggies. Texas A&M 13-7 overall, 3-4 in conference play. There's the dribble handoff. Harris with that unorthodox J off the mark and rebounded by Noel.
They never moved Nerlens Noel away from the rim, and you have to move him if you're A&M.
Poythress has it blocked by Roberson.
Now Kentucky they're trying to get out and run because they don't like going against this set half-court defense of Texas A&M, but Poythress that time didn't take the ball with authority, wasn't strong, didn't get his feet underneath his shoulders, expecting the contact. Ron Calipari takes him out.
Harrow, a little bit strong that time. Harris on the drive, the floater goes.
I'm telling you, the guy, all he does is ball. That's what he is. He's got an awkward shot, a sideways shot. He's the smallest 2 guard in the SEC. But he's a Chicago tough kid with a lot of moxie. You're guarding his moxie as much as anything.
That's 17 points in that overtime win in their last game. Mays with the 3-ball, knocks down his second one. And Jimmy, let me ask you this. They double-teamed Noel that time on the block. What do you think of that? Why would they do that?
Well, they're not wanting Noel to get started offensively and make him a passer. Well, you know what? He's proven he can beat you passing right now. But I'm like you, Nerlens Noel is not a back-to-the-basket guy. You know, make him prove that he's going to do it.
Turner missing, and Noel cleans up the mess.
Well, you got numbers if you push it right now.
Mays with the nice show and go. Noel with the flush. Had his back the whole time. And Nerlens Noel, the freshman All-American candidate, double digits in points. The Aggies call timeout.
And I think the knee is okay. And there's the dig down, and Noel doing such a good job of looking to the other side of the floor. Doesn't make the easy pass, makes the right pass.
Pretty good stat line so far for the freshman Nerlens Noel. 10 points, 4 field goals, and 3 dimes already.
You know, the moment as a coach, you can stop having to coach effort, and ego, and roles and agendas. You're going to win a lot of games. And John Calipari no longer has to do that with Nerlens Noel.
A&M looking for the foul, won't get it. We're going to take a timeout and come back on the other side. Well, Jimmy Dykes, you get into the first Saturday in February, and these upsets kind of tend to happen. It really makes the storylines for the rest of the year in college basketball intriguing.
You know, a big key, there's so many teams, I think, capable of winning it all this year. Who's going to get better during the month of February? That's not easy to do when you're in the grind of conference play for the next month, but who's going to get better? It's going to be Indiana, it's going to be Michigan, it's going to be Florida, Syracuse, Louisville.
Louisville going through a rough stretch right now. There's Harrow up top. 10 on the shot clock. Nice backdoor pass. Great execution by the Wildcats. Now in the middle of a 15-4 run.
How smooth was the read of Kyle Wiltjer? The screen, the re-screen action. It all starts with his ability to be a superior screener because of his size and his stroke. Everything else flows off of that.
11-point lead, their largest of the game. Once again, A&M going to be challenged to get to the 20-point mark at halftime. The second consecutive game. Turner off the mark, rebounded by Wiltjer. Wiltjer's dad, Greg Wiltjer, a former player with the Canadian national basketball team. Member of the University of Victoria's Canadian national champs, college league. Mays off the screen. 7 on the shot clock. Harrow's got to go. Couldn't turn the corner. Good defense by the Aggies for 34 seconds, not 35.
Yeah, that's a breakdown by Texas A&M. A really good read and a tough drive by Harrow to not give up on it a half step too early and rush his layup. That was a hard layup to make with shot clock pressure, and he just did.
The run is now 17-4 for Kentucky. Harris hands it off to Reese.
And they've done nothing, and you're 7 seconds into the shot clock now.
Reese with a long launch, no good. And they'll get another possession off the carom. Harris. And next year they'll get a little bit of help with Sean Smith, the redshirt freshman who's sitting out from Faith Baptist High School in Florida. Talented combo guard, 6'3". Elston Turner finally gets one to go.
You know, I think that's his second shot that he's made from that area that I diagrammed earlier, just outside the box. That's what you have to make against Kentucky, and Turner's the best one to do it.
30 seconds to go. Harrow off the screen. Wiltjer's been working on his post-up game. He's fouled that time as he made his move, and that's going to be a bonus situation now. He'll go to the free throw line. He's a good foul shooter at about 77%.
Well, he's been terrific for the last 4 or 5 ball games. He's averaged 16 points. He had 26 with 5 made threes at Ole Miss. And here's why I think he's hard to guard, because he's a very smart screener. He can come at different angles. He can change the screen of the angle within the last step. He can pass it. He can shoot it. He can deck it. And you forget he's 6'10" and 240 pounds, so he can also get down there and bang a little bit with you.
Surprisingly missing the front end of the 1-and-1. 7 seconds to go. Right back at him at the quick other end. Great hustle by Harris, who drew the foul. We talked about it. That's the Chicago in his game right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, just the toughness is that this kid's 5'10", so there's no reason that he should get involved in the play, and he just continues to his drive and his energy is what you're having to match up against.
Former JUCO All-American goes to the foul line. He shoots 83% from there. But it has been a very challenging first half for Texas A&M.
Very difficult background. Talking to Fabian before the ball game. His mother was killed when he was 6 years old, and then a brother and one of his best friends a couple of years ago, and just has really made the most of an opportunity in college. Continues to get knocked down and pick himself back up, and I cheer for a kid like this, just because life has kind of knocked him back a couple of times. He just gets right back up and keeps on charging.
One of the real important parts.
Watch this motion. He's right-handed. Yeah, you have to. He's right-handed. The ball gets completely on the left side of his body, and then he's up and in. You know why? He's been so small his entire life when he was young that's the only way he can get the ball up on the rim, and it has stuck with him.
Late substitution coming into the ball game.
Why are you getting on my guy like that?
Oh, I love him. Don't get me wrong. It's just a little unconventional. Home run pass intercepted. And that's the end of the first half. Nerlens Noel certainly making an indelible imprint on the first 20 minutes of play. Double-digit scoring. Of course, the usual block shots. That's the end of the first half. Kentucky leading it by now. Right now, we send it to the studio with Chris Cotter and Seth Greenberg, the UPS halftime report. Texas, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. The first time that the Aggies have welcomed the defending national champs into Reed Arena. Folks, the guy in the headband and the bow tie, that is your school president here at Texas A&M. They are into it, into the spirit. Mark Jones courtside along with Jimmy Dykes. This is the second meeting of the season between these two teams. Jimmy, much different than the first one when Elston Turner, the Aggies, lit up the Wildcats for 40 points.
Yeah, Kentucky's defense has been dialed in, haven't they, on Elston Turner? I think he's 2 for 10 in this first half. They've done a good job of chasing him. Archie Goodwin's been physical. They've switched out when they've had to, but it better continue. Texas A&M missed their first 11 shots in this ball game, and they're only down 9 points.
Yeah, very fortunate to be in that situation. Let's take a look at the shot chart, our virtual shot chart.
Well, there's way too many red X's and not enough blue circles for Texas A&M. Interesting that most of their damage was done in the painted area, but 3 of those makes were off of transition. So they only got 2 of them in the half court, and if Texas A&M is going to fight their way back into this ball game, they have to make shots between the 3-point line and the box. That's what they did at Rupp. Can they do it in the second half?
Away here in the second half. Great tonight defense by Archie Goodwin on the wing. We take a look at the first half. Surprisingly, A&M with more blocked shots than Kentucky does, but Noel with 10 points. He's already hit double digits. 7 assists on their 11 field goals, just a little bit under 50% from the field for the Wildcats. Reese out top for Texas A&M. Here's Turner. See if they can get him off early here in the second half. He'll go to the free throw line and have a good chance to see that ball go through the basket. That's the 3rd foul on Goodwin. That's one of the changes coming to this game. It was Poythress the last game guarding him.
Well, Poythress was assigned to him. He didn't guard him. Archie Goodwin makes a mistake and leaves on the ball fake. And Elston Turner is an older kid, and he will ball fake you and lift you and find a way to become a scorer.
Just an 80% free throw shooter. Aggies missed their first 11 shots to start the game.
at his core, I think this kid's an average foot speed catch and shoot guy. He loves to go right. If he goes left, he's going to cross over and step back into a jump shot. He likes to go right so much. The flight in here yesterday, I was with a bunch of kids from the University of Kentucky. Their student government was here for a leadership conference. The girls in that group said, you can't let Elston Turner go right.
They had the scouting report?
That's how much they knew. I sent out a picture with me on Twitter. I was very impressed with not only their leadership qualities, but their basketball knowledge.
They'll be breaking down tape of the first half.
Absolutely they will. I bet they're in this building somewhere.
That's going to be a foul against the Aggies. Yeah, there is a lot of blue, Kentucky blue, speckled throughout this sellout crowd here at Reed Arena. There's a look at the foul. There's like we said, a bunch of blue. Interesting scene prior to the game courtside. A lot of Kentucky fans down here taking pictures. It looked like a presidential photo op.
Yes. Those are the fans that live in Texas that this is their first live look at the Cats.
Well, had it rejected. A wide open Harrow from downtown.
Why would Harrow take that shot? He's shooting 22% from the three-point line in conference play.
Harrow, the transfer from North Carolina State. Missed a bunch of games to start the season due to injury.
A&M continues to go under every ball screen action. Watch out.
Oh, my, look out below. A quick first step. And a burst to the bucket for Noel. He's got a dozen. Turner with a nice feed inside. And Roberson blew the dunk. Inside to Poythress. And a quiet day for him. Missed the layup, but drew the foul on the play.
Well, if you're a post defender, you never gamble on the flight of the ball. And Nerlens Noel, look right there, boom. Defender gambles, low block, or even out on the perimeter. If you gamble and you reach, Nerlens Noel will teach you a lesson. And his chin on the rim at a kid 6'11", and how quick he gets off the ground. I've never seen anyone like it in the 15 years I've been working for ESPN.
At halftime, Jimmy, I spoke to one of my NBA scout buddies. I asked what he thought about Noel. He said, I see kind of a Tyson Chandler type, a shot blocking machine and a guy that can really be your defensive anchor.
Well, if the buddy you talk to doesn't have one of the top 2 or 3 picks, he's wasting his time watching Nerlens Noel because he's going to be gone. He's going to be gone. I'm telling you. It's between he and Ben McLemore from Kansas, I think, for that #1 spot.
McLemore and the Jayhawks losing today at home against Oklahoma State. One of the upsets on this Saturday. Turner with the rebound off the Turner miss. And the Turner put back good.
Elston Turner is getting some good looks, though, to start this second half. He's got himself to the free throw stripe. He missed a wide open 15-foot shot, and that's a concern right now with Goodwin on the bench. Who's going to check 31 in white?
This Kentucky team, although they have an 8-point lead, Jimmy, they've shown that they can let go of some leads.
Yeah.
You're never really out of it when you play these young guys. There's the lob for Noel, and he finished again.
How many can make that play from that far away? And he's almost taken off from outside the lane.
Reese threw up the prayer and went in off glass over Noel. Boy, he's got the wingspan of a pterodactyl. Noel inside, got the handle. One of his few misses today from close range. He's 6 of 8 from the field. Already with a double-double, 14 and 10 for Nerlens Noel.
Right now, Julius Mays is checking Elston Turner. That's a size advantage for A&M.
There's the 3-ball from Harris. We've talked about it a lot today, his unorthodox jumper. He shoots 41%.
The ball goes in. Yeah, the ball goes in. That's the bottom line. When they recruited this kid, they tried to change his shot pocket. Shot pocket's not going to change. The ball goes in, leave it alone. And we got a ball game in College Station.
Aggies making a move on the defending national champion Wildcats. A pivotal game for both these teams. What was the key on that last bucket?
Well, Fabian Harris, just his toughness. Pull this right here, guys. He's a right-handed shooter. The ball never gets on this side of his body. It's really odd, but you know what? He's done it so many times over and over and over and over again that for him, that shot is grooved. So I'm okay with that. He's a right-handed guy. The ball starts on this left side and never changes. That is an awkward of a shot that you will see. But tell you what, Texas A&M coaches have left him alone, and the thing's going in at a 43-44% rate.
Kevin Martin, that's who I was thinking about. As Harris comes up with the steals, is fouled. Kevin Martin, the only other guy that shoots
like
it pretty proficiently from the other side of his face like that.
But I don't think he dropped it that low and started it that low from that side of his body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a short list.
Yeah, it's a very short list. Kentucky has their hands full right now in this building. Elston Turner looks like he's a lot more comfortable offensively in the second half. He's moving well.
Good defense that time by Harrow. Out of bounds. It's going to be Kentucky basketball. Great hands by Ryan Harrow.
Boy, a good choke off of a drive by Ryan Harrow, showing some toughness. If your point guard is not your toughest guy in March, it's really, really hard to win meaningful ball game. And that's where Harrow needs to continue to grow.
Mays out top. Hands it off to Harrow, 14 on the shot clock. There's Wiltjer. Mays with an open look. They got a very fortuitous bounce for three. He's got 11 in the ball game.
All off,
back up to 8.
Yeah, all off of the play of Wiltjer. And he dropped that basketball off to Mays. In great rhythm and right on the numbers.
Turner, a nice ball fake and go up and over Noel.
And he drove right. That is who he is at his core. Catch and shoot guy, and a guy that can drive right.
A&M hanging around, trailing by just 6. A little bit of a confidence hit coming off that win on the road against Mississippi State a few nights ago. A game that went into overtime. Here's Noel working against Turner. Mays with the ball fake, lobbed it up for Noel. He's got 3 guys on him. You talk about some surveillance.
Well, Elston Turner not going to go for 40 in this game, but you know what? He might score enough to keep a lot of pressure on Kentucky.
Look at the accomplishments of the former Wildcat. Boy, what a great year he had, and really his unselfishness, not one of the things that will show up on that screen. John Calipari quick to point out that he took the 4th most shots on that championship team last year.
Got to get it up.
Goodwin with the nice cut to the hoop.
Boy, a breakdown by Texas A&M, and again the ability of Nerlens Noel to understand the basketball game. He's a shot blocker, but he wants to become a basketball player, and he's quickly going in that direction to know the shot clock allowed him time to get the pass off.
Nice bucket as Turner slipped the screen. He's got 6 points in the ball game.
I'll look back at Anthony Davis. One thing that impressed me with him, he was a guy that loved it when practice was beginning and not when practice was ending. And that's what great ones are. That's what great ones do. They love the beginning of practice, and they don't like it when practice ends. Most guys have that backwards.
Great defense here by Elston Turner. Coming up with a rip on Mays.
He's their best defender and their most physical defender, and Mays just gets whipped. Didn't own his spot and then reaches from behind, and Elston Turner trying to enforce his will and his physical style of play on this young Kentucky team.
It was the 8th turnover against the Wildcats. Now the Aggies very much in this game, trailing by only 6. Chance to cut it to 4.
Well, Goodwin still has 3 fouls, and he's checking Turner. He's going to have to stay dialed in and play through foul trouble.
Aggies try and go at him here. They run him off the baseline screen, a double screen. Caruso. Turner. Whistle and a foul going to be called against Wiltjer. And for Kentucky, that's going to be their 4th team foul. First personal foul against Wiltjer. Wiltjer having a much quieter night as opposed to the career high 26 that he had at Ole Miss in Oxford a few nights ago. Turner at the foul line, and Turner, one of the guys, Jimmy, he kind of perplexes the Aggies, and coaches tried sitting him at times, different things, but for all of his talent, the productivity isn't there. Why, you think?
You know what? I think this is an example of a kid that his senior year has not handled the pressure of being a senior. Some guys do, and this kid so far has not. And sometimes you can start pressing too much and worried about this is my last go around and getting all kinds of negative thoughts going on in you, because this kid is an explosive athlete. He was one of the better offensive rebounders in Big 12 play last year, and they can't win consistently if he doesn't get double figures, and he's inching close to that today. Is that his 8th or 9th point?
Yeah, pretty productive game. He's got 8 now. His team within striking range, only down 4.
And what does Kentucky do? This has been a lesson that John Calipari's been trying to get across to his guys all season long. When the game gets tight, what do we do?
Harrow takes it to the bucket. That's going to be an offensive foul. Elston Turner drawing the charge.
Well, Ryan Harrow never gave the ball up on the possession. And he had Kyle Wiltjer wide open, and turned him down.
If you're Calipari, do you live with that, though, knowing that he took it to the basket? He'd rather see that than then settle for a jumper?
Well, he has to live with it right now because he's the guy. But he was the first one to point out Kyle Wiltjer's wide open, Ryan. See the floor. Don't predetermine where you're going to go with your bounce.
Turner spins on Goodwin. One spin, not enough for Nerlens Noel, who snuffed it at the bucket.
See, on the other end, watch Kyle Wiltjer right here. I mean, he can't be any more open than he is right there. Kyle Wiltjer has got to get the ball in that situation. And Ryan Harrow has to see that, but he predetermined what he was going to do about 25 feet out on the floor.
The other Turner, Ray Turner, will take a seat. That was his 3rd personal foul. Well, inside, had it knocked away. Good defense by Andrew Young. It's Aggie basketball. And a chance to get to within 2.
Nerlens Noel opened his shoulders up too early on the jump hook. He's got to keep those shoulders closed off, and watch right there. See how he completely opened up? He's got to shoot that ball with the right shoulder in the chest of the defender.
Reese with a tough shot. Well, made him change that, or at least think about it a little bit.
Yeah, it was tough because Nerlens Noel was around the rim. I think he got a piece of it, didn't he?
And the steal by Caruso. Aggies within 2. Alex Caruso leading the team in steals, and an education and anticipation right here.
Yeah, and there it is. He's a terrific athlete. He was an all-state high school track guy in sprints and high jump. And Ryan Harrow right now has to get control of this game at that lead guard spot.
They call a blocking foul on Fabian Harris. That's his 2nd personal. 15 foul against the Aggies.
Mark, I'm telling you, your point guard has to be the guy. I mean, Trey Burke's going to be the guy tonight for Michigan. Scotty Wilbekin in this league is the guy for Florida at the point guard spot. Peyton Siva. And you have to have that about you if you're going to make a run at a conference championship.
Goodwin has been quiet at the offensive end. Harrow making some noise with the 3 ball. The lead back up to 5.
Love it. Back-to-back bad possessions by Harrow, but that time he was wide open, stepping into a rhythm 3. Forget about his percentage. You have to take that shot.
Turner on the drive. Had it blocked out of bounds. It'll stay Aggie basketball.
This Kentucky team will follow the voice of Nerlens Noel. And Harrow also has to become the 2nd voice. If you're only leading by example, you're taking for granted that someone's watching you, and don't do that.
Nice move by Reese, the floater, got it. Michael Reese has 4.
Another one of those shots just outside of the box that you have to make against Kentucky.
Here's Goodwin working against Reese. Turn the corner, contact, oh, he made it! Call the circus, Archie Goodwin with the N1.
Wow. The awareness to get the ball up. Knowing the foul was going to come just to get the ball up. Where are the pink elephants, though? Oh, my goodness. H-O-R-S-E. You're out.
Ball game. Well, back here, Kentucky's lead extended to 5 on that wild shot that fell by Archie Goodwin. ESPN College Basketball available anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone at watchespn.com and with the Watch ESPN app.
Archie Goodwin at the free throw stripe is going to shoot a ton of free throws the rest of the year because of his ability to blow by with a long, quick first step. 12 out of 14 at Ole Miss on Tuesday night. The first time since December 29th he was above 70% from the free throw stripe. So it's another area of growth for Archie Goodwin.
Here's Reese. Caruso, great drive and slam. Caruso, a young man that grew up as a ball boy here through 3 different coaching regimes. Local product from College Station. Noel inside, fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line for a pair.
Well, Texas A&M is going at Kyle Wiltjer on the perimeter. And Caruso gets it. And Wiltjer gets his eyes attracted to Elson Turner, thinking it's going to be a dribble handoff, but he doesn't keep his feet in the right position. His eyes got on the ball, and his feet forgot about his guy, and Caruso with a blow-by.
And that's going to be the 4th personal foul against Caruso, a guy that has proven to be pretty valuable for Texas A&M in this ball game. We're going to go to the monitors and try and check and determine to review who the fouler was. At first indication they said it was Caruso, but we're not so sure. And now we're being told it's a clock issue and something different.
Yeah, because you cannot go to the monitor to see who the foul was on, which is kind of odd. You can see who got fouled, but I don't know what the clock issue was. We're being told we're all good.
Okay. Hey, Jimmy, what about this? Texas A&M and Caruso, they're on pace to maybe actually get 55 or more in this game for the first time in 5 ball games, huh?
Well,
what about that?
I think they're dead on, and they're thinking coming in, can we get to 60? And if we can get to 60, we've got a chance to win this ball game. And you know, defensively, they're capable of holding Kentucky. I don't know, 16, 18 points from here on out. Or can they continue to score enough?
Kennedy's team struggling offensively as Noel misses the first. Kennedy, the former head coach at Southeastern Louisiana, Murray State, where he was the Valley OVC champs. Former Texas A&M assistant, Kermit Davis. Second year as head coach and trying to build it up, get it to where he wants it. Both those teams, Southeastern Louisiana and Murray State, to the NCAA tournament. It'll be a little bit more tricky to do it here in a new conference, the SEC. Whistle and a foul going to go against Poythress. That's his first personal foul, and against Kentucky, that's the 6th team foul.
That first step by Poythress as a defender against a drive has to be a retreat step. It wasn't. It was a sideways step. And officials referee the defense. That's what they're taught, and that's what they did.
Turner with the pull-up. Butter.
He just looks better. He might, not better. He looks more confident. And to me, it looks like the rim looks bigger to him in the second half. And Kentucky better get after this kid.
12 points now for him.
Goodwin. Turner can really guard, can he?
Air ball from the corner by Harrow. Harris. A whistle, and that's going to be a blocking foul. Sending Harris to the free throw line. I'll tell you what, when Harris steps on the accelerator, there's no in between. As he's getting up slow. It's first to fifth gear, and no holding back for the little guy. Diminutive but dynamic.
Well, because they struggle to score in the half court, they're running even on even numbered conversion situations. That time I think the numbers were pretty even, but they are going at that rack before Kentucky can get their defense and their protection set.
Harris with 10 points, now 11 to go along with 5 rebounds. Had a game-high 17 in the overtime win at Mississippi State. Former JUCO All-American from the College of Southern Idaho, where they have a great program. Consistently turning out high-caliber D1 players. Got a ball game.
Yep. And Fabian Harris is a terrific on-ball defender, and he's checking Harrow right now. Harrow can't get loose with it.
Noel. No double team coming. Inside to Goodwin with the scoop shot. Archie Goodwin, you sense him, Jimmy, starting to get in rhythm a little bit at the offensive end. He's got 9, most coming in the second half.
And the feel and the passing ability of Nerlens Noel is terrific in this ball game.
Underrated?
Yeah, very patient and poised, and he can deliver with either hand.
Turner seemed to have lost the handle on the way up. 9.5 to go, 3-point game. Kentucky looking for their 15th win on the season. Harrow inside, the post up, Poythress fouled.
Very well done by Kentucky. They go to their grinded out strength game around the rim. Last year it was Michael Kidd-Gilchrist in this situation. This time it's Alex Poythress that John Calipari goes to.
Poythress going to the foul line, a 70% free throw shooter. He's the first Kentucky Wildcat to have 4 20-point games since Jody Meeks. Knocks down the first of 2, the former Tennessee Mr. Basketball.
And I think he needs more shots. And the reason why I say that, in SEC play, Goodwin has 82 shots. He's shooting 37%. Harrow has taken 77 shots. He's shooting 40%. Poythress has only taken 44 shots, and he's shooting almost 60%.
So how does he get him more shots?
That part of it's on him. Part of it's on him, and part of it's on John Calipari and the staff to make sure they keep this guy involved. But I think it's his consistent motor and edge and toughness, and I want to be a 9 or 10 or 11 shot game guy that he needs to grow into.
Time out on the floor with 9:12 to go. Kentucky up by 5. Big Monday primetime double dip on ESPN at 7. The Fighting Irish looking for an upset when they square off against Michael Carter Williams and Syracuse, who lost today against Pitt. Then at 9, Sheldon McLennan leads the Longhorns against Murray and the Mountaineers Monday on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN.
Well, how is Texas A&M hanging in this ball game? You know, Coach Kennedy at noon today for about an hour. Let me tell you what they did. They practiced moving that ball from side to side with on-ball screening action and being physical and tough enough and strong enough to move the ball side to side. Then they went and practiced boxing off for about 5 minutes to hold their own on the boards.
They didn't bring out the shoulder pads and helmets like Coach, our friend up at Michigan State did a few years back. Did he?
Tom Izzo? No, he did not.
I thought that's where you were going because I saw Kevin Sumlin in the building.
Right. But he was setting the rules with his guys at noon of how they wanted to play at 5 o'clock, and they have, and that's why it's a 5-point game with 8 and change to go.
Harrow guarded well by Harris.
Kentucky not getting their offense yet, and it's at 14.
Little zone look here, it looks like, Jimmy, by Texas A&M.
A&M did a good job of disguising that zone for a good portion of this possession.
Yeah, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Goodwin's the guy that can make one, though. And that's going to be a foul against Poythress coming over the back.
It was good defense by Texas A&M because they aligned up in man-to-man with Harris. Hard ball pressure on Harrow, and then as the shot clock started ticking down, they quickly formed up that zone.
Nice move from the sidelines. Hey, that helps Texas A&M, stops the clock and puts them on the foul line. Facing a 5-point deficit. They're going to shoot from here on in. Meanwhile, there's only 3 team fouls. Pardon me, they're both shooting. The bonus both ways. Turner at the foul line. He's having a tough night from the field, just 4 of 16. Jimmy, funny how things change once you score 40 points, like you said.
Absolutely. Again,
He's struggled since.
Coach awareness and player awareness goes to another level. Kid doesn't shoot a lot of free throws because as a senior, I don't think he uses the ball fake nearly as well or the shot fake as well as he should be.
Lead still at 3. Harris just dogging Harrow down the court.
But you know what? Harrow has handled the pressure the last 3 or 4 minutes because this kid's trying to climb into his jersey.
They go to the post up for Wiltjer this time and repost it to Wiltjer. Got a mismatch and takes advantage. And one. Picture perfect by Kyle Wiltjer.
I always say that the catch position is a fist fight. It's a fist fight to catch the ball and then a foot fight to score it. And look at the footwork of Kyle Wiltjer. He sticks that left foot down as his pivot foot and never moves it. And then that right foot finally frees him up. Again, he can shoot it, he can post it, and he can deck it. That's why he's hard to guard.
Is that a part of his game he didn't quite have last year, the post-up game? Seems a little improved at that area.
You know what? He had it in practice, but he never used it in the game because they were so good with Anthony Davis and Terrence Jones and Kid Gilchrist. They never ran him to the post. This year they are.
Wiltjer, the guy that's played more minutes than anybody on the roster coming into the season. Coming off the bench and giving them another great spark. Harris, nice feed inside. Roberson converts.
They drug Noel away because Goodwin got hung up on the on-ball action.
A&M back in the zone here. Great hustle by Harris.
Yep.
He blew that up single-handedly. Aggies hanging in.
Well, you drag Noel away, get his hands high, make a pass at the rim, you got a chance. Texas A&M is really starting to do some good things on offense.
PN6.
Aggies down by 4. Jimmy, what happened on this last play and why?
Well, it's Archie Goodwin's first turnover of the ball game, but it's a crucial one because he's 6'5", and when he makes this reverse pivot, watch what happens. Hold it right there. See, that ball is above his waist, and that cannot happen. He's got to keep that ball, you know, between his knee and his thigh area. He gets that ball too high. Now that becomes a very slow reversal. And you allow a sharp, moxie, tough kid to come in and get a reach.
That's Kentucky's 12th turnover.
Your coaches all the time, low and tight with your handle. That's why they say it.
Oh, and a costly turnover in a game where possessions are so valuable. That's the 6th one of the game by the Aggies.
They get right back into the moment, though, if you're Texas A&M. Kentucky's had that problem this year. They make a mistake. It takes them 15, 20 seconds to get back into the moment.
Kentucky's poise and level of experience going to be tested again in these last 6:43. Passed a real serious test in Oxford, Mississippi earlier this week.
I like Wiltjer being involved in their offense.
Nice ball fake, and he was fouled on the drive. And they're in the bonus. He'll shoot.
The reason why I say that, because good things happen when Kyle Wiltjer either has the basketball in the on-ball action or he's the screener. Because he's so smart and so clever. He's the slowest guy maybe in the building, but he can read angles, and that power drive gets him to the free throw strike.
In the building?
Maybe in the building. And he is difficult to handle at 6'10", 240, because really, to me, he's the best play starter that Kentucky has. He makes plays for others. He makes the game easier for others on the offensive end.
Talented player out of Portland, Oregon. Mentioned his dad played for the Canadian national team back in the day, and Wiltjer, a mainstay on the Goodwin Soldiers, Oakland Soldiers AAU team, one of the more successful units a couple of years ago. Turner with the high ball screen. He refuses it. Into traffic, tough shot. Fortunate to get another crack and another possession. Miscommunication, and he turns it over, trying to get it to Ray Turner.
Yeah, all because of Nerlens Noel. When Elson Turner had the ball in the corner and he started attacking the rim, his eyes got attracted to Nerlens Noel. And one of those plays that he doesn't block the shot, but he erases it. Look at that. See the step? Nerlens Noel steps towards Elson Turner and completely throws him out of rhythm.
Aggies have threatened and gotten within 2. Haven't gotten any closer here in the second half. Wiltjer. Poythress on the wing. Mays with the lob. They couldn't finish. Poythress gave it to Noel, and he draws the foul from Johns. Noel going to go to the free throw line.
I love the pass by Julius Mays. A ball fake. He sticks his feet at the SEC logo, and then where is Nerlens Noel? Because that was going to be a very hard shot. That 12-foot shot is a hard shot, and he quickly got his eyes on Noel at the left side of the rim.
Jimmy, there's kind of a perception out there amongst the general public and people who watch basketball that that's almost a hot dog play. That's a high percentage play now, isn't it? The lob?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's such a high percentage play. Kentucky works on it every day. I mean, that's a staple in their offense. And you have a kid like Noel around the rim, or Anthony Davis like last year. You finish off a lot of possessions throwing that thing up the opposite side of the rim.
Yeah, when people see alley-oops, they think highlights and Showtime, but pretty effective as a staple. Noel with 16 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. Loose ball, and look who comes up with it.
That kid's, his will to win and his mean streak and his toughness is why they won the Ole Miss game, and it ultimately might be why they finished one off again on the road.
This Kentucky team might have been overrated a little bit early in the season, but you can definitely see some growth in them here. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Harrow, I'm not sure whether that was a shot or an attempted alley-oop. Bottom line, he missed it. Whistle, and it's going to be Texas A&M basketball underneath.
Well, Harrow does a good job. He made a bad decision on the other end, but then he doesn't let one mistake become 2. And to me, that's a sign, growing up toughness-wise. He gets back and makes a play.
Boy, that was kind of telling. Ray Turner was wide open, didn't even look to shoot it a second ago. There's Caruso off the ball screen. Nice move by Caruso. And contact underneath. That's going to be a foul against Kentucky. But a great drive by Caruso on the play. That's the 4th foul against Poythress, and that's going to stop the clock and put Texas A&M on the foul line.
Mark, Kentucky still, they don't rotate down quick enough off of a block attempt by Nerlens Noel. You got guys standing and watching. Harrow was watching the play that time. Not sure what Poythress was doing, but Nerlens Noel will get away from the rim as a shot blocker, and you have to come in and cover him up when the ball's on the board. And Kentucky continues not to do it. And John Calipari talking to Poythress about it right now.
Turner at the foul line. Ray Turner shooting 61% from the line in the season. 8 points, 9 rebounds, and converts the front end. Jimmy, let me ask you this, getting back to Noel and his shot blocking. When he's out there blocking 12 shots in a game, as a teammate, do you get a little bit comfortable with the fact knowing that you got some nice insurance back there?
Yeah, I think you can.
Almost too comfortable?
Yeah, but I don't think you should. I think you can, but I don't think you should. And Nerlens Noel is a center racer, but
a lot of guys like to yell help.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys don't need to be playing. Yeah, you need to take on the ball like I don't have any help. You need to have a I don't have help mentality, knowing that you do have help. Can't play guys that yell help too much. Can't play guys that say my bad too much.
Kentucky up by 5. Good hands. Tipped out of bounds. It'll stay Kentucky basketball. Caruso active at both ends. Couldn't sell it. Kentucky basketball. They're trying to post up Wiltjer. But Turner really wrestling him for a position down on the block. 3 on the shot clock. Mays just got it off in time. Huge. Those are daggers, folks.
Absolutely huge by Mays. And again, Kentucky with the poise on the road to not feel the shot clock pressure and let it affect what they want to do.
Mays, the former Horizon League Player of the Year when he was at Wright State, made a clutch bucket right there. The 6'2" senior with some leadership, Jimmy.
Don't let the environment dictate what you should and should not do. And Julius Mays doesn't let it happen. Shot clock pressure is on him, but he gets his eyes up and realizes I have time for a lift, one bounce, and into a shot. And that was huge for Kentucky. Boom, the lift. Caruso flies out at him. And Julius Mays, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Mays having a nice game today. 14 points. 4 of 5 from downtown. Where are we, Lexington? Listen to the chant.
Well, that's the power of the Big Blue Nation.
Okay, now we heard some of the yell leaders get up from Texas A&M and squelch some of that blue crowd that was. What did that shirt say about Leitner?
I still hate Leitner.
Gotta let it go. Decades later. Caruso. Noel clears the rebound. A whistle, a late whistle, but nonetheless a foul. That high top fade trying to fade the Aggies to black right now. We'll be back on the other side. All right, a look at the golden early evening hues here in Texas, College Station. Sun maybe setting on the Aggies' hopes of winning this game, but Noel giving them an opportunity still to lead at 8 points. Still plenty of time, 3.5 to go, Jim.
Look at that Indiana-Michigan game coming up in about an hour. And it's been written, spoken, tweeted all year long. We have no great teams in college basketball. Okay, fine. You know what we have? We have some really, really darn good teams then. If we don't have a great team, we have some really, really darn good teams. And it's not going to keep me from watching the Super Bowl tomorrow. I don't think either the Ravens or the 49ers are great teams.
Right.
Who cares? Enjoy the game. Enjoy the kids. Enjoy that atmosphere tonight of 1 versus 3.
Roberson inside. That's going to be goaltending. The lead down to 6. And that leads me perfectly to, as you bring the chicken wings over to my room and we watch the game, who you picking tonight, partner? Indiana, Michigan. Number 1 against number 3. Craig Burke and Cody Zeller, a couple of the great quasars of college basketball. Maybe the best point guard in all of college basketball. Burke, who do you like?
To me, Michigan and Florida are playing the best basketball of anybody in the country right now, and Indiana is right there behind them. Indiana on their home floor. I think it's going to be too much for really a very young Michigan team to overcome. They're almost as young as Kentucky was last year. How about that?
Good comparison. Part of ESPN's Journey to the Tourney. Here's Caruso.
Well, is this Elston Turner time? Julius Mays has done a good job. He's given up 4 or 5 inches, but Turner can get a shot off over him.
Oh, they ran him off a screen, an illegal screen. That's going to be a foul against Roberson, the screen setter on the play. That's his 3rd.
And that's a very good job by Julius Mays to not shy away from contact and go right at the hip. If he's afraid of contact, he doesn't get that call, but Julius Mays goes right at the hip and right at the shoulder of the screen, gives up his body. Very well done by Julius Mays.
Jimmy, looked like Roberson was actually set and square on that.
It did.
Oh. Mays, the lone senior in the starting lineup, providing a lot of valuable, priceless leadership, and that's going to be a whistle against Kentucky and an offensive foul against Wiltjer with the hook. Took that left arm and wheeled on the defender.
And to me, Kyle Wiltjer also received the ball about 1 big step too low to the baseline because he was really running into a crowd down there as well. I like Kyle Wiltjer catching that ball above the block or higher to start with, and see he's even with that block, and there's the elbow and the right call.
Yeah, good look by our official making the correct call on that play. 2 minutes to go. Kentucky looking for another road win here. Maybe not quite as impressive as the Ole Miss one, but they all count. Turner looking to catch fire. He's got 16.
I just think you stay with Elston Turner because he can get his shot off over Julius Mays anytime he wants right now.
And the steal. Caruso. Harris missed it. Goodwin got the rebound but was whistled for travel.
You can't make a softer pass than what Ryan Harrow tried to do on the other end. I think he's got a cramp right now. See that left calf tightening up. And man, the game is on the line on the road, and Ryan Harrow with a very soft entry pass that gets chewed up. Watch this pass. That is a slow, lazy, soft pass made by Harrow. And what I do like is he comes in and realizes with an urgency, I better get this ball back for my team.
There you saw him grab his calf at the end of the play. Boy, we saw this happen to, who was it, Lacey, who suffered from cramps late in the game a few games ago.
I tell you where this hurts Kentucky now. Ryan Harrow, up until that last pass, was at least doing a good job of fighting off the ball pressure that was being put on him. Now Kentucky, Mays or Goodwin's going to have to handle the heat.
Harrow getting ready to come back in on the next whistle, and he'll get an opportunity right here. That respite didn't last long, but still limping. Poythress comes back out of the ball game. Kentucky had turnovers in its last 3 trips down the floor.
Get the ball to 31 in white, Elston Turner. He's being guarded by Mays, who's 6'2". That's a walk.
So that's a travel. He saw Noel, and the breaks weren't good enough.
I don't like the isolation of the play call by Caruso, going at the nation's best shot blocker. He has no chance. Julius Noel is just, the whole entire time he's saying, go ahead and try. Go ahead and try. Travel, give me the ball. Bad possession by the Aggies.
Texas A&M needs a stop here. Wiltjer on the lob. A little too high. Harrow Perry yelling at the sophomore. I'm not sure what, but one more look. If you're 6'10", do you throw that or do you do it yourself?
Well, he was in a shot position. He had dribbled the ball right where he could stop and elevate and shoot a nice 6-foot shot. But Kentucky is so well drilled on trying to throw that ball to that weak side post. It's almost a habit pass by Kyle Wiltjer.
Interesting. There's a look at the reset situation. Kentucky leading by 4. 3 timeouts remaining. A&M with 1. So if you're Texas A&M, What are you thinking in terms of running a play? It's got to be Turner, right?
It has to be Elson Turner. He's 6'5". He's being guarded by Mays, who's maybe 6'1". And he can at least get himself to the free throw stripe. He's got a big body. He can get to that 15-foot mark and ball fake and make something good happen. And the ball has to get to him quickly. It can't be a slow developing play. 31 in white has to be the guy. And Kentucky has to know that as well.
We'll see who guards Turner on this possession. You've seen a couple of different defenders throughout the course of this game today. Caruso will inbound to Reese.
Kentucky with 4 straight turnovers. Another reason why A&M has a shot in this ball game.
They've got Mays guarding Elston Turner. Let's see how that works out. Reese on the drive-by inside, and they get him at the rim, and a timeout called as Ray Turner gets the layup. He's got 12 and the lead down to 2. Under a minute to go.
And they use Elston Turner knowing that they're not going to come off of him. So Elston Turner's going to set the screen right here, and you're not going to help off of Elston Turner, and Julius Mays face guards him and allows the rim run down the weak side. So I love the play by Coach Kennedy. Elston Turner, boom, you set the screen, turn the corner, draw the defense, and there will be no help at the rim. Very well done by the Aggies.
Time for Calipari to counter. See what he draws up coming out of this timeout.
I would be very concerned about the ball pressure that Fabian Harris can put on someone.
They added a little bit of time to the clock during that whistle stoppage.
Harrow cannot be loose with this basketball with Fabian Harris in the yard.
Mays has been the guy with the hot hand consistently. Noel was doing it early for the Wildcats.
They'll take a timeout, I would think, with 3 or go with an isolation.
Harrow, Poythress on the baseline, whistle, foul, and he'll go to the free throw line for a pair almost, and a chance for the and one.
Kentucky very good at taking that shot clock down, and Calipari called the ball over in front of his bench. So if he didn't like what it was going to develop, he could make sure he had the timeout ready to go. But they spaced Poythress off at that short corner. And he just missed one that he really should have made.
Poythress only a 70% free throw shooter on the season. Knocks down the first. 1 possession game right now.
I like getting Wiltjer out because defensively he can be exposed.
It's a 2-possession game. You don't necessarily need a 3 here, do you? No. Or do you go for 3? No.
If you go for 2, though, you got to get Nerlens Noel away from the rim. You have to drag him out on the floor.
Here's Turner working against Mays. Crossed him up, tough pull-up. Rims out, loose ball. Aggies get it. And it's a 2-point game off the bucket by Harris. Look what I found.
I said it in the first half. It's his moxie that you're most concerned with. Fabian Harris is the smallest guy on the floor, but with the biggest Valentine goes and get a critical rebound for Texas A&M and keeps him in the game. They've never gotten Nerlens Noel away from the rim. So he's there, but he just can't control it. Poythress gets a hand on it, boom. But who wants it the most? Well, he's wearing number 12 in a white jersey.
Harris got rid of it quickly, too, didn't he? He knew Noel was around.
He just has that, that smart streak about him. You're right. I mean, he was quicker off the floor than anyone else.
Come on, Aggies, let's go, let's go.
Nobody's soft coming out of Chicago, that's for sure. 5'11" junior, making it a 2-point ball game. Now, if you're John Calipari, as the officials look at the clock again, had a couple of clock issues so far here today.
Normally they're checking, did the clock stop when the ball came through the net? And right there, it should be about 19-4. It got to 19-1. Maybe they lost a couple of tenths there.
Well, last time coming out of the timeout, Kentucky ran a nice set, Jimmy Dykes, and got the ball to Poythress. Ended up going to the free throw line for 2. What do you make of Kentucky's offensive efficiency in the last 5 minutes of the second half? For a young team, they've been fairly poised.
Well, but they had a stretch of 4 straight turnovers is why this thing is still a ball game. And Harrow was a guy that did it as well, you know, a couple of back-to-back times. And they got to be strong with this basketball right now because A&M's going to come with heat. They go to 19.9. I thought it was close to 19.5. That could be a critical 0.8 of a second.
Remember what's coming up next, folks. College Game Day, heard by State Farm. Indiana taking on Michigan, number 3 against number 1.
Mark, you got to get this thing in, first of all. You don't take that for granted. You screen quick, and you bust back to the ball. They get Noel out because he's such a poor foul shooter.
Yeah, he's only 54% from the line. What do you make of this full quarter, 3/4 court pressure by the Aggies?
Well, I love it.
Goodwin gets it in. Wiltjer, a good foul shooter. Double teamed. They get a jump ball. And the possession arrow in favor of the Aggies. You said it. Strong with the ball.
Well, Kyle Wiltjer ran to that corner to get the ball in bounds, and then he wasn't quick enough to get rid of it. That is a great trap. They got chest to chest and choked the life out of Kyle Wiltjer, and as soon as he brought the ball down, the tie ball occurs. If he keeps it up, he's got a chance, but right there, he drops it down, and a reach in. You're not going to get that foul called right now. And Elson Turner, their best defender, gets the tie ball.
2-point game.
You can't get Noel away from the rim. Where is Elson Turner for a jump shot?
Not going to call a timeout. Turner up top. They're going to flatten it out. They double team him. Turner, he has a look. Got it! Tie game! With 1.4.
I've been calling for it the last 4 minutes. Elson Turner splits the double team. Kentucky tried to come up and make someone else beat them, but the double team was soft. It was not a strong, hard, with a purpose. Just enough of a gap. He gets himself under control and shoots an off-balance, off-footed jump shot. Elson Turner had his left foot way in front of his right foot at the launch point. But it's a senior kid that willed the ball in, and now Kentucky, I like them throwing this thing the length of the floor and getting a run out right now by Noel and throw this thing down around the top of the key. And I think that's what they'll try to do.
Wiltjer going to play quarterback with the inbound pass.
Yeah, I take this guy, Noel, and I sprint him down here and throw it up to him.
There's Willie Cauley-Stein. He's your football wide receiver.
Yeah, he is.
He can run the baseline. It was after a made basket. So he can run the baseline if he wants.
There goes Noel.
And he overthrows him. Aggies will take this into overtime. For the second consecutive game, Texas A&M will play an extra 5. What a finish. Clutch buckets by Harris and by Elston Turner down the stretch to send us into an extra frame.
They're two most competitive guys. I think Fabian Harris is the most competitive guy on the floor between both teams, and Elson Turner has that will to win as a senior. Kentucky should have closed this thing out. But 4 straight possessions with, I don't know, 3-4 minutes ago, they turned the thing over. Harrow was soft with the ball, and they've allowed Texas A&M now to live for 5 more minutes.
Aggies closed the game on a 10-2 run.
Calipari tried to choke off Elson Turner. He brings up the double team, but look, the double team gets spread just enough. Those feet have to be together, and there's no way you can allow Elson Turner to slip through that corral action. He does. Bucket, 5 more.
Well, Texas A&M, you would think, have a little momentum here going into the overtime frame, and they're back again where they were just a few nights ago in Starkville, Mississippi, playing overtime once again. And interestingly enough, it was the freshman Reese that came up big with 6 of their 8 points in overtime. As Calipari tries to put his team back together for this extra 5 minutes. Well, the Aggies at least got to 60, Jimmy. They got 62, right?
They do. That's what we said. That was their goal. And 2 above their goal allows them to live right now.
Don't forget, coming up later, Indiana taking on Michigan, number 3 against number 1, but plenty of great basketball to be played here. I'm Mark Jones courtside along with Jimmy Dykes, the defending national champs, being welcomed into College Station for the first time in the school's history, getting a battle from the Aggies. A&M has never led today. They've tied it 3 times, but have never had the lead. Here's Harrow.
Zoned by A&M. It's been good to him at times in this game. Kentucky's messed around with it up top too much, not gotten into their offense quick enough.
Mays has been a dependable three-point shooter on the game. Noel with a sweet-looking jump hook.
Did you see what he did, though? He took the ball to the middle of the floor to create room to come back to that left shoulder and his right jump hook. He's getting better now. Not every game, every day.
A whistle and a foul. That's going to go against Archie Goodwin as Caruso was tripped up.
Watch Nerlens Noel. When he gets this ball down low, Kentucky gets it to him. Now watch. Boom. Come to the middle. Come to the middle to create room to come back to that left shoulder.
Big time move, Jimmy Dykes.
Absolutely.
Caruso at the free throw line, a 67% foul shooter. Hometown product here out of College Station, Texas. Actually played a lot against Reese, who's from nearby Bryan in high school. Both of them now teammates.
If Caruso has a summer where he pours himself into making about 10,000 jump shots, his game goes to another level, because I'll tell you, this kid's an athlete. He's fast, he's got a burst, he's 6'5", he feels the game well, he can pass it, but he needs a serious summer of jump shots.
Real bouncy, you mentioned it. Kentucky by 1. Wiltjer had a chance to check into the ball game. Precisely to go against the zone here?
Yep. He's the shot maker, and they're using him up top right now as a screener.
10 on the shot clock. Harrow. Wiltjer with an open look for 3 and missed it. Out of bounds. Kentucky basketball. Great effort by Harris, but he couldn't come up with it. And Kentucky will get another valuable possession.
That's a good look by Wiltjer. He shoots the ball with such ease. His legs aren't going to be bothered by playing an overtime period. Guys that fight the shot and explode into it, you can't trust their jump shot in an extra period. You can still trust Wiltjer's.
Mays out top.
Man to man, and I don't think Kentucky has recognized it.
Well underneath. Picks it out. Still plenty of time. Mays, a whistle. A foul before the shot. And that's going to go against Texas A&M. And for Harris, that's going to be a night for him. He's done. He fouls out.
Julius Mays is not a quick kid, but 3 or 4 times in this game, he has utilized the shot fake really well. You have to close out on him because he's a 52% shooter from 3 the last 5 ball games, and that also makes him a half step quicker, and that is a huge, huge loss to Texas A&M.
Mays at the free throw line. Julius Mays, the transfer from Wright State, where he was the Horizon League Player of the Year. Also played 2 years at North Carolina State before that. In the master's program, a kinesiology major, and his body movement's pretty good here today. 16 in the ball game for him. Kentucky up by 3.
Don't you keep feeding Elston Turner right now if you're Texas A&M? And you can post him, you can pop him for shots.
Comes off the double screen. Good show by Noel.
Let him go to work right here.
Mays trying to guard him. Turner on the drive to his right. Tipped up, and that's going to be a foul against the Aggies. Number 42, Jared Johns over the top in the foul. That's his 4th.
Shows a good team defense that time on Kentucky. They jumped out. They had a good hard hedge, and they make Elston Turner take a shot going away from the rim. And that's not going to drop but about 20% of the time.
Wiltjer back at the foul line. Now, I was speaking with assistant coach Orlando Antigua before the game, and he was telling me how Wiltjer, like a couple of the other players on this Kentucky team, have really, Jimmy, poured themselves into the process of practicing and practicing harder, practicing more frequently. There is no magic potion.
No, not at all.
That's how you get better, right?
Yep, and that staff understands it. That's what that Kentucky team did last year. They poured themselves into extra work ethic. Nerlens Noel and Wiltjer are the two guys doing it right now for Kentucky, and no surprise, the two guys playing the best ball. They're continuing to down the action right now. Mays not letting Turner use that ball screen.
Lead is at 5. Reese out top. 10 on the shot clock. Take it out of Turner's hand with a quick double. Tough jumper. Roberson tried to keep it alive, and he gets whistled for the foul coming over the back. And right now, this A&M offense seemingly a little disconcerted, discombobulated at this point.
Well, Kentucky's defense is having something to do with it. Hold it right here, guys. Look at that, man. That was 3 guys over here forming a wall, not letting Elson Turner turn the corner where he can do damage. They're icing the action. They're down in the action. They're almost sending a second defender up there as well to ice it, saying someone else is going to make plays in this overtime period other than Elston Turner.
Well, not a great foul shooter. Misses the first.
Jonesy, the ball continues to go back just a little bit before it goes up and out.
As opposed to
straight up and then out. The ball goes back. And he's continuing to work on the CJ. It just goes back just enough to throw him off.
One thing I've heard you consistently say, the more the moving parts, the lesser consistent.
Absolutely.
The shot, right?
Absolutely. He'll figure it out. He's too good of a worker, and he cares too much about being a finished product.
6-point lead for the Wildcats. Turner, bam, knocks it down to 3 in a hurry. Got them one in rhythm and found the range. He's got 21, and their hopes are still alive here in College Station. They go zone here. Got to keep an eye on Mays, who's been an effective 3-point shooter. Wiltjer on the other wing. They got their 2 best 3-ball guys, and that rattles in and out. Well, Jimmy, they had the right guy taking a shot.
Yeah, good clean look. Now Poythress on Elston Turner, and Poythress got lit up by Elston Turner in Rupp Arena.
Something Kentucky players have talked about in the days leading up to this game. They haven't forgotten.
Almost like Cal has to go with some size on Elston Turner right now.
A whistle and an A&M gets a timeout. Caruso a little bit loose with the handle, but fortunate to retain possession. We'll be back on the other side. All right, Reese, plenty of basketball to be played here. 3-point deficit by the Aggies. Jimmy, how do they free up Turner a little bit more?
Well, Elston Turner wants to go right into his shots. Hold it right here, guys. Knowing that Elston Turner wants to go this direction. Julius Mays has to get over here and cannot let him come this way, but he doesn't do it. He doesn't take away his right even without the ball, and look what happens. Boom, he gets blown up on an on-ball, running to his right. He's in rhythm, up and knocks it down. You have to take away his path even going to his right. Mays didn't do it. Now Kentucky is still in a battle.
Nice cut inside by Turner. Had it blocked by Wiltjer. Kyle Wiltjer with a defensive gem.
And Wiltjer or Noel, neither one left the floor. Outstanding discipline by Kentucky at the rim.
Aggies in their zone half-court defense here.
Can they clean up a miss out of this zone? That would be my concern right now if I'm Billy Kennedy.
5 on the shot clock. They got to get busy in a hurry. Harrow on the move. Mays didn't get it off in time. A shot clock violation with 27.3 to go. They're going to turn off the shot clock and play these last seconds. Aggies trailing by 3.
And Kentucky's been very good in late clock situations in this second half. Harrow not the defender that Goodwin is.
Goodwin into the ball game. And it's going to be Mays that's guarding Elston Turner on the block there.
Now, Elston Turner wants the ball. I can just tell you, it should be a play call for Elston Turner.
Russo goes quick with it. Nice speed inside for the layup. Roberson makes it a one-point contest.
Did the clock continue to run again after the ball came through the net? I mean, 3 or 4 times a day that's happened.
We'll go back to the monitor and check to see what the time should be.
Now, they put Elston Turner in that far corner and then drove the ball to his side, knowing that you can't help off, and that allows Caruso to get to the spot of the floor to make a play. The clock stops now. It continues to run. It's got to stop as soon as it clears the net. It's got to stop.
Good times around Texas A&M this year, with football team making a successful foray into the SEC. The basketball team trying to do the same here. How big a win would this be if Texas A&M could pull this out?
Huge for them. I mean, first of all, they would have swept Kentucky. Think about Texas A&M in football this year. They go and they win at Alabama. How about that?
Yeah.
And then in basketball, they go and win at Rupp Arena. So they've taken on the 2 heavy hitters in this league on their home field and home floor and have held up well.
There's Kevin Sumlin, the head football coach here at Texas A&M. The Aggies nation loud and proud these days. One of my good friends, Roland Martin, the political analyst, big fan of the program.
Kentucky will have timeouts to use if they have trouble getting the ball inbounds. You know Noel's not going to be on the floor because of poor free throw shooting. They have also should have learned to close out the end of regulation. Do not throw that ball to the corner, because A&M is very well schooled and well drilled at bringing the heat.
They couldn't sub, so he called timeout. They could not sub because of the suspension of play, so he called timeout.
Kentucky to inbound. Julius Mays is going to be allowed to run the baseline. It was after a made basket, and Calipari will call a timeout. So we'll set it up again. This is a young team. They start a sophomore, a freshman, another freshman, and the lone senior starter is Julius Mays. But this has been a pretty steep learning curve for the Kentucky Wildcats. You think about the defending national champions, quote unquote, coming in. It's a totally different cast.
It is, and you know what? Kentucky got knocked to the canvas at Ole Miss the other night, and they picked themselves up and fought their way back to a win. And they've kind of been knocked down today as well, because they had the game under control, then turned it over and allowed the thing to get into an extra period on them. Right now, Kentucky has to get the ball in bounds. John Calipari did not like what he saw in terms of how they were going to break the press and what A&M was going to do to him. So now, come out, get the ball in bounds, be strong with it, cover it up, and are you tough enough now to make free throws? The last thing I say to my guys, if I'm in that Kentucky huddle, all 5 of you have to have the mentality, foul me. Let me be the guy that goes and closes this thing out. You don't want guys out there right now that are running from the ball. Put your 5 most competitive guys on the floor and try to close the game out.
One of the differences today in the Wildcats' success has been, especially in the overtime period, punctuated by the overtime period, is they have been 5 for 6 from the line in the extra frame.
64% on the year in SEC play. And now, right now, who wants the ball, who wants to get fouled, and who wants to shoot free throws? Go get it. He got held.
A whistle and a foul.
Well, you grabbed the wrong guy, didn't you? Elston Turner? You grabbed Julius Mays, who's...
And Mays is a pretty good foul shooter, 82% on the season.
Yeah.
Today, Mays has knocked down a bunch of 3 balls, a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. Even if he makes both, though, it's still a 1-possession game for Texas A&M.
He really gets the right side of his body turned in, almost like someone shooting darts. He turns that right side in and gets that shot side lined up really well.
Knocks down the first. Noel comes back in, presumably for rebounding. Goodwin takes a seat. Three players in double figures for Kentucky: Wiltjer, Mays, and Noel.
A&M with no timeouts left, so they'll be going on the fly.
It's a three-point game.
I don't think Kentucky will foul because they're too young. I'm sure Calipari doesn't trust that part of it.
Here's Caruso. Turner gets a hand on it. Gets a look. Halfway down and out. Wiltjer couldn't hold on. Poythress does, and they get the timeout. Boy, that one rattled in and out.
I didn't think Kentucky was going to foul. John Calipari's guys are too young. He's got too many other issues to deal with in practice besides practicing are we going to foul and how we foul. They go with the corral action again on Turner. And Turner, now this time down three, can't split the corral. He has to fire. It was a gamble by Kentucky, but Elson Turner got a pretty good look now.
Jimmy, it almost looked like they ran at him as if to double team him, then changed their minds and step back.
It wasn't a great corral, but Elson Turner at 6'5" was going to get a shot off. And
well, it's a different story for him tonight as opposed to the first time when he was 6 of 10 from downtown. Today, just 7 of 23 from the field overall and 1 of 7 from downtown against Kentucky. The Wildcats with a 3-point lead and possession. Mays with a season-high 18 points.
All you have to do is throw it and catch it, and the game's over. Can you do it?
They just did. 0.2 left on the clock. They say that revenge is a dish best served cold. I think they got something on ice right now here. The Wildcats do.
I've never heard that, but I like it. I'm going to use it sometime.
Nerlens Noel with a great night, especially at the offensive end, surprisingly so. Well, Texas, you hear the "Go Big Blue" chant, and we're not in Lexington. Mays trying to put this to bed. 19 points. Don't forget, folks, a great game coming up tonight on ESPN. Number 1 Michigan taking on number 3 Indiana. Treg Burke, Tim Hardaway Jr., Glenn Robinson III, Cody Zeller. Some of the great names of college basketball.
Mark, I said on Tuesday before the Ole Miss game, a huge week and opportunity for Kentucky. Can they sweep it and make a move? They've swept it, and they might be making a move.
The big guy wearing number 3 policing the paint once again at both ends. Kentucky wins it 72-68. Right now we're going to send it to Bloomington, Indiana. For Jimmy Dykes and the entire talented crew behind the camera you never get a chance to see, I'm Mark Jones. College Game Day covered by State